All right, this article is titled Bombshell Texts Reveal Full Scope of Matt Gaetz Sex Scandal. And before we jump into these texts, I just want you guys to imagine for 1 second if one of President Biden's closest allies or one of his most popular attack dogs was actively being investigated by the DOJ, not only for sleeping with underage women, but for paying women for sex while being a member of Congress. Just imagine if President Biden then helped cover up this sex scandal by appointing this person as the Attorney General with the sole intention of making sure that the entire report is swept under the rug. Not only would the mainstream media be hounding this, but this would be a national story, a global story about Democrats covering up sex scandals. Tucker Carlson would be saying, what else are they hiding from us? Is there a sex cabal that we are missing? But Matt Gaetz had his entire scandal covered up by Donald Trump, Mike Johnson, all of the Republicans surrounding him, and the onus now falls on us to be relentlessly breaking this down because yes, the mainstream media will cover this for a few days, but again, if we reverse the roles and President Biden did this would be a conspiracy theory that lasts for decades about how Democrats always cover up sex scandals. When Al Franken, you guys remember Al Franken had a few pictures leaked and a few allegations, Democrats immediately ousted him. He immediately dipped because we actually have standards, and the double standards are quite disgusting. So let's break down some of these bombshell texts, and I hope that analogy really helps you understand how we need to be hounding this. If this happened with Democrats, Republicans would never let this go, and they would draw massive conspiracy theories out of this. I'm not saying we should make up massive conspiracy theories, but why did Mike Johnson help cover this up? Why did Donald Trump help cover this up? What were they trying to hide? Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you subscribe. This says the much anticipated House ethics probe is finally public, along with a slew of texts involving the former lawmaker's allegedly sordid sex life. Some of this will be uncomfortable. We'll skip over some of it, but this is some interesting stuff. And he was a member of Congress while this was happening. So a slew of damning texts were included in the House ethics probe into Matt Gaetz that was made public today. Gaetz, who stands accused of paying women and a 17-year-old high schooler for sex, while he was in Congress, mind you, allegedly messaged about his sordid encounters and went as far as criticizing one woman for giving him a brief drive-by meeting before ditching him because she was tired. That's called pressuring somebody who's likely younger than you, and there's always going to be an inherent power dynamic when you're a member of Congress and they are like an 18-year-old girl. There's always going to be a power dynamic when that's happening. House investigators also revealed texts where Gaetz allegedly asked women to bring drugs, like marijuana cartridges and rolls, with them to their meetings, where he'd allegedly reimburse them in addition to paying for sexual favors. That is a weird-ass deal. I'm not going to shit on the guy for smoking joints. That's not what we're here for. We are railing against him because he paid underage women via Venmo and had sex with many women while he was in Congress. See, I don't even care if this dude wanted to throw completely consensual sex parties with people near his age. That's none of my business. But the fact that you have an entire scheme, an entire operation where you're sending thousands of dollars over Venmo and you sleep with an underage girl while you're in Congress, that's not only vile and disgusting, that is illegal. It is absolutely illegal. I want to repeat, if this dude wants to smoke a joint on his free time, I don't care about that, but what he's doing is disgusting. Other texts between a woman and Gaetz' convicted sex trafficker associate Joel Greenberg, peeled back the curtain on how the two men allegedly found and met with women they paid for sex. In one text thread, which includes a photo of a smiling Gaetz, Greenberg allegedly texted a woman about a $400 meetup that included Gaetz and himself, and apparently he met the woman on seekingarrangement.com. It says, "What do you have in mind for tonight?" He sends a picture of Matt Gaetz and says, "My friend." Someone says, "My friend thinks he's really cute." Who thinks this guy's cute? Someone said, "Well, he's down here only for the day. We work hard and play hard. Have you ever tried Molly?" It's interesting. Greenberg wrote back, "He's here for the day," and the woman involved with those texts later met up with Gaetz, the report alleges. Investigators said Gaetz became a repeat customer of hers and paid $2,000 over the years. He was still following her on social media at the time of the report's publishing. In another text exchange viewed by lawmakers, they alleged that Gaetz invited a woman on a private plane with him to Key West in 2017, saying she'd be joining an adventurous group of 2 guys and 4 girls. Gaetz and the woman took a photo that same day in Orlando showing Gaetz in a casual shirt, and he paid her $600 to be there. These are texts between 2 young women. One says, "Yay, Matt never paid me. How much did he pay you?" Someone said, "WTF, he gave me $400. They said, "Ugh, hopefully he remembers I don't want to have to ask." Again, this perfectly points to the power dynamic. This is a younger woman who doesn't want to ask Matt Gaetz for the money after they had sex. That is just vile and it's manipulative. Don't ask. Just say it to him on Friday. Someone said, okay. And while you're giving him a BJ, ask before you have sex with him for sure. They said, okay, ugh. That's why I'm broke, because I was. Then it cuts off. But the point here is there's a power dynamic at play. And the secondary point here is Matt Gaetz can't have sex unless he pays people. And this part's just insane. So Gaetz' then girlfriend at the time, Matt Gaetz' girlfriend at the time said, quote, the guys, Gaetz and Greenberg, wanted me to share that they are a little limited on their cash flow this weekend. Quote, Matt was like, if it can be more of a customer appreciation week. So Matt Gaetz' girlfriend is helping them set up women to sleep with. Later texts included in the report suggested that women agreed to Gaetz' request for a free meetup. Again, there are power dynamics at play here. When you've slept with a congressman multiple times and he's not paying you the $400 or whatever, of course it's going to be nerve-wracking to ask a congressman to pay you when he hasn't said anything. Quote, by the way, Matt also mentioned he is going to be a bit generous because of the customer appreciation thing last time. A text from a few months later read, according to the report. Another text showed that Gaetz once cut a check for $1,500 to pay for a student's online class. Does this dude only sleep with college students and high schoolers? What in the actual hell? After the women explained why she needed the cash, Gaetz allegedly asked, quote, how much is it and when is it due? Before answering succinctly, on it. You are the best human to walk the earth, the woman responded. The class is $1,500, someone said. When is it due? By the 4th of October. He said, on it. The reason she's saying you are the best human to walk the earth is because he just paid for her college class. The House Ethics Committee said it found substantial evidence of statutory rape, prostitution, and illicit drug use by Gaetz between 2017 and 2020. The report was released in full for the first time on Monday afternoon, despite fervent pushback from Gaetz and other Republicans to have it tabled since he was no longer in office. This is what Speaker of the House Mike Johnson was trying to cover up. This is what Speaker of the House Mike Johnson did not want people to see, and it's absolutely disgusting. The entire report is damning, and there are multiple photos. There's a photo that recently emerged from 2017 of a house party showing Gaetz having sex with multiple women, paying for their company. One of these women was the 17-year-old. And then the report continues to give new weights to the same claims that have haunted Gaetz for years, and I'm so glad that this is all public. And I'm so glad that Mike Johnson now has to live with the fact that he tried to cover this up. I mean, I'm sure he's already going to forget about it, but we have to hold them accountable. Gaetz has previously denied many of the allegations levied by the committee, including a claim that he paid to have sex with a minor, but now that doesn't mean anything because he denied it and it happened. The Department of Justice previously investigated that allegation and dismissed the case, but not because it didn't happen. Quote, the record overwhelmingly suggests that Matt Gaetz had sex with multiple women at a 2017 house party in Florida. That's not the messed up part. Who cares if Matt Gaetz had sex, but for which they were paid, including an underage minor. That is the part that is absolutely insane. Also, the entire sex trafficking scheme and the power dynamics at play are incredibly weird. I just want to repeat, if this dude wants to smoke a joint behind the scenes, I don't care about that. But the fact that this dude is actually running a ring, was running a ring, is disgusting, and I'll leave it at that. Drop a like, subscribe. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.